What's up, weirdos? All right, so we got the Spaces event that happened yesterday between Zebec and Algorand discussing their new partnership, Payments Edition, baby. So these are two of my favorite projects coming together, guys. So I could not personally be any more excited than I am about this. So we're going to dive right into it. But first, two quick things. Firstly, well, three things really. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, costs you absolutely nothing. But secondly, guys, if you want a free Zebec airdrop, now's the time to pounce. Down in the description, you're getting 20 bucks off your Decent wallet using our link. And if you use a coupon code FUTURE20 off, you're also going to get a free Zebec airdrop on August 20th to your Zebec wallet or your Decent wallet, guys. So check it out. Make sure you use our link down below for that. And also, finally, without further ado, before we jump into it, let me just get to this real quick. Guys, 10% of people in crypto make life-changing wealth for themselves. 90% of people lose money. This is a true fact. There's a reason why only 10% of people can make true, actual millions and millions of dollars in life-changing wealth. And that is why you're here, is to never have to work again. Join the 10% club, guys, back there. Check it out. The link is down in the description. We will help make sure you are able to exit this space with your profits intact and front run it so you are one of the first people to leave crypto with your profits instead of holding your bags at the back of the line. Learn how it's all done, guys. We will help you get there. We will help you make that life-changing wealth. We've helped 43 people just this year hit seven-figure portfolios, and we're hoping to make you the next one. So check it out. Again, the link is in the description. Join the 10% club over on the Patreon today. All right, without further ado, let's get into the spaces. I will be in the background listening in as well. So enjoy, guys, and I'll talk to you guys at the end of it.
All right, mic check, mic check. Chris, can you see if you can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Perfect, loud and clear.
Okay.
Beautiful. So let me make sure Simon and Mark are you guys listening to me fine?
Hey guys.
Yep, absolutely. I'm here.
Hey Mark, how are you? Great to have you guys.
Okay.
All right. So before I guess we can kick it off, right, Simon? Or are we waiting?
Yes, let's kick it off. We only have 30 minutes today, and we want to get through a lot of great content.
Shall I start?
Yeah. So before we start, today we got well, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining today on this Thursday. Today we got a super special Spaces, and we got a special host today, a former editor for the Independent, major publication in London, Chris. So happy to have you on, and I'll give it to you. Take it over.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Blackhurst. I'm delighted to be hosting the Zebec Spaces, focusing on RWA momentum in Web3, Zebec's evolving role, and Algorand's position in the market. Look, let's start at the beginning because this is hugely important. Simon, I understand you recently spoke at the British House of Lords. How cool is that? How was it?
Well, first of all, thank you for everyone for joining, and thank you, Chris, for graciously hosting this space, and Mark from Algorand as well. We're very much looking forward to your contribution to this discussion. So yes, we did have the honor of speaking in the House of Parliament in Westminster. The conversation was around regulation and corporate compliance. We're very much looking forward to coming back and contributing to the work of Baroness Susan Kramer and her team around the upcoming stablecoin policy here in the UK.
And was it a case of new tech meeting the old, or I mean, were you very comfy in those surroundings?
Well, look, it was a bit out of our element as a technology company to be up there with government officials, but I think there was a lot to be learned from both sides.
All right, brilliant. Listen, moving on to the topic of today, we're going to talk real-world assets, or RWAs, and how they've become one of the loudest narratives in the space. Why? Why do you think that is?
It's a great question. I mean, there's been a lot of buzz around RWAs recently in the past couple of months. I mean, I think you have to really bring it back to the beginning of crypto. Crypto's been searching for use cases for well over a decade. And now, with the largest economy in the world blessing stablecoins and tokenization technology, we are ready to see Wall Street move aggressively into the space, bridging the gap between TradFi and DeFi. Asset tokenization of RWAs lets investors from around the world participate in markets that they may not have had access to in this traditional structure. So it makes investments a lot more accessible and democratized, very similar to the ethos of Zebec's approach to streaming finance and unlocking the value that exists in payroll.
So what role do you see Zebec playing in that evolution?
So Zebec's history has really been around stablecoin payroll. We're the market leader in the space, and we pioneered the technology nearly 4 years ago when the market was not even talking about this use case at all. Payroll is the foundation of a lot of our products. And at Zebec, we're driving millions of dollars in new volume entering the crypto space as employees increasingly elect to take part of their salary in digital assets, namely stablecoins. This then opens up these users to a world of possibilities within DeFi or simply reinvesting their payroll into major assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, no different than how many Americans may invest part of their earnings into a stock portfolio through a 401k deduction. What's even more exciting is the prospect of connecting the payroll flow to this huge arena of tokenized real world assets, which are growing by the month. And this then allows employees to expand their investments far beyond, the basic crypto digital assets into a variety of RWAs through an on-chain transfer or even a DCA contract. So we're super, super excited to have Algorand as a key partner for us on this flow. Obviously, this announcement was made today, so it's very, very fresh. And we're going to get into some more details on the space. As we truly believe that the Algorand network is set up extremely well to handle large volumes of payroll transactions. And it is, of course, the largest platform for RWA tokenization out there in the market today.
Well, that's great. I mean, let's talk about our guests. We're going to talk Algorand, L1, billions in TVL, ISO 2022 compliant, making a huge impression in the RWA space. Simon, can you introduce our guest?
Absolutely. Well, welcome Mark Vanderberg, who's the Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer from the Algorand Foundation. It's a real pleasure to have you on our spaces today, Mark.
Well, thanks,
so
Simon.
Mark,
so glad to be here.
Mark, hello.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Listen, when it comes to RWAs, there are a handful of L1s trying to claim that narrative. Why does Algorand stand out from the rest?
Yeah, well, maybe for your listeners that may not all be familiar with Algorand, let me do a very quick intro on Algorand. So Algorand is a layer 1 blockchain, as you mentioned, and has been around for more than 6 years. And it was founded by Turing Award winner Silvio Micali. And the key innovation that Silvio came up with was a new, very elegant consensus mechanism that is super, super lightweight and that uses kind of a lottery system as its basis. And the result of that mechanism is that we have a chain that is highly scalable, highly decentralized, and is highly secure at the same time. And so the chain currently can cover over 10,000 transactions per second. Anyone can run a node. You can stake as little as 1 algo, and you can run a node on a mini computer, a mini PC, which you can rarely do on any other chain. And it's highly secure at the same time. And so the chain has really been built from the start for real world use cases. And we have features such as instant finality, which basically allows users to kind of instantly settle transactions on chain at very low and predictable fees. And so this kind of technical underpinning makes the chain extremely well suited for tokenization use cases. And we've seen many, many examples. As you mentioned, Simon, we've been an early mover in this space. We've seen many, many examples on chain of tokenized assets, equities. Like the first, people talk now about equities all the time, but the first stock that was ever tokenized on a blockchain was the Exodus stock, and it's tokenized on Algorand. So we have money market funds, we have US treasuries. Gold is being tokenized. We have a very interesting company called Lofty that is tokenizing real estate on chain. And we also have tokenization of non-financial products. Like, for instance, we worked with like the big energy provider Enel to tokenize solar panels. So users can actually buy a solar panel without having to install the panel on their roof, and they get all the benefits without all the hassle associated with it.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Look, Mark, is Algorand's ISO is Algorand's ISO 2022 compliance an enterprise-ready architecture? Is that the real differentiator, or is it these partnerships that you're building?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors. The ISO compliance, of course, is very important, and we are actually one of only a handful of blockchains that are compliant. And so, the U.S. Treasury, via the Federal Reserve, is now implementing this ISO standard as the global messaging standard for like Fedwire fund service. And so, being part of that standard and being compliant with that standard, of course, is very, very important and very critical. The second piece is like the enterprise-ready architecture. It's really important because you don't want to tokenize on quicksand, right? And so, for instance, our ledger today is one of the few ledgers out there that is quantum secure. And if you're thinking about tokenizing treasuries, and if you're like a government, you're not thinking 5, 10 years in advance, you're thinking 50, 100 years in advance. And you want to make sure that whatever you tokenize on chain will still be secure when quantum computers hit. And so that's what we have today. The chain is kind of quantum secure today from a ledger perspective. But of course, none of this really matters if you don't have the right partnerships at the same time, because it's companies like Zebec that make the magic happen for users, right? We are just the kind of infrastructure layer below it. We make sure everything kind of runs properly and there's no downtime and it's secure and it's safe. But ultimately, what drives the usage is the companies like Zebec who basically build services on top of it that make the blockchain sing.
Yeah, that's really the magic of this partnership, is you're bringing really the top tier infrastructure layer in the market of Algorand with the real world users of Zebec coming together.
It sounds great. I love the word magic and infrastructure and people working together to make things happen. It sounds brilliant. Simon, listen, people talk about tokenizing buildings, cars, treasuries. But what does it look like when you actually tokenize payroll? How people are paid? How does that look like? How does it look like when you tokenize payroll itself?
Well, payroll's really not been a core part of the RWA conversations really until recently. And the way we think about payroll tokenization is there's really two elements to it. So the first is what most people think of payroll, which is of tokenized payroll, which is essentially using a tokenized form of the US dollar or other fiat equivalent to make the payroll transaction. This is what we've been building for years and will soon be expanding to the Algorand network, initially with the USDC stablecoin, of course, from Circle, but on the Algorand network. So that is a project that we're launching now with this partnership. And then the second aspect of payroll tokenization is a much more nascent concept. And it involves the earned wage access industry, which is primarily in the US and some parts of Europe. Earned wage access, or EWA, it's a program that lets employees receive a portion of their paycheck in advance of payday with a fee. Although this is the very concept that streaming payroll technology and crypto solves for in a much cheaper and more efficient way, earned wage access remains used in certain areas of the economy, particularly with lower wage jobs, hourly jobs, where they also don't have as much adoption of crypto payroll. So EWA providers, they sit on large payroll receivables that bear yield in the form of access fees that are paid by employees. And these assets can be tokenized on chain in the same manner that treasuries or other debt instruments can be brought on chain. So this has never been done before, but this is a concept that we are exploring now actively. So through Zebec's very own WageLink application, which is processing earned wage access transactions for payroll clients of PayBridge and other partner companies of ours, we are exploring the very first tokenization of such assets on-chain through the Algorand network. So this is a great example of a completely new asset class that fits within the credit category coming on-chain. It connects to our existing payroll business and our existing payroll flows and opens up a whole new yield opportunity to investors that may want to diversify out of standard credit investments.
It sounds fantastic. I want it. The idea of getting paid in advance. Oh God! Right, Simon. What makes Algorand the right chain for EWA partnership?
So Algorand has a feature called atomic swaps that essentially let you simultaneously settle a payment for an asset with the delivery of the asset at the same time, all within a single transaction. So this effectively reduces any counterparty risks that you'd have, and it creates a trustless environment for the trading of assets. But I'm sure Mark can contribute to this at a much deeper level than I can.
Oh, Mark, do you want to go deeper?
Yeah, atomic swaps. I mean, atomic swaps are absolutely. Simon did a great job at explaining it. They're absolutely a key feature here, and and this is just one of the features that make Algorand really enterprise ready and enterprise great. And it's a core feature in any kind of financial transactions because, as Simon said, it eliminates any counterparty risk, and it makes sure that payments get settled instantly on chain. And specifically in the context of, for instance, debit card, this is also a critical feature. You could actually run a debit card with a fully on-chain balance management. You don't have to do anything off-chain. All the balances can be on-chain. You can actually top up or like do any kind of actions with your debit card on-chain because of this instant finality feature. If you don't have that, then you always have to have like a secondary ledger that keeps track of the balances because you can't trust the ledger to do it. But with an instant finality environment, you can actually manage everything on chain and make it free, transparent, and visible. And so it's a great enabler for a whole series of financial use cases.
Can we talk a bit about the debit card? How does that work?
Yeah, so we actually recently launched on the Zebec card suite the integration of the Algo token. So this is now live on our Silver and our Carbon card, meaning that users can now spend Algorand in the real world in fiat currency with minimal to no fees. So that is a really exciting development that we encourage the community of both Zebec and Algorand to check out.
And I think this is really where really crypto will go, in my view, will go mainstream, right? Because one of the big issues of crypto is both the on-ramping and the off-ramping. If you basically solve the on-ramping through Payroll, right, and you solve the off-ramping to debit cards, then you basically have no reason not to have your life completely on-chain.
Wow. So, Mark, what stable coins have been built on or integrated with Algorand?
So the primary stablecoin that is used predominantly on Algorand is USDC, Circle's USDC. Besides USDC, we have a number of other stablecoins, specifically euro-denominated stablecoins. We have EURD, which is a stablecoin that's focused more on payments. We have EuroQ and USDQ, which are also European stablecoins that are managed and issued by Quantos, European company. All of these stablecoins are fully MiCAR compliant. And there's more stablecoins coming because we just signed a partnership with Wormhole NTT that allows for cross-chain transfers of tokens and make it easy for stablecoin providers to issue stablecoins on Algorand and have them transfer in and out of Algorand. So there's more coming.
And what about the stable coins that Zebec will be integrating? Can we talk about those?
Yes. So as we mentioned earlier, we will be integrating USDC, of course, from one of our backers and early investors, Circle, but on the Algorand network. That will be coming to our cards as well as our payroll tools. And from there, we're looking at integrating new stablecoins, which we've discussed in previous spaces, potentially as well some non-USD pegged stablecoins, such as the ones that Mark mentioned as well, for serving the European markets.
Wow. So, Simon, you've been tapped by the UK government around stables. What are they asking you? What's Zebec's point of view on how government should approach stablecoin policy? How do you work with them?
We can't go into a ton of detail there on our involvement, but we are looking to some of the legislation that's been coming out of the US as a guidepost for the UK, while taking into account the policies priorities of the UK to keep the pound globally competitive as a major trading currency. So we're really excited to be part of these upcoming conversations here in the UK. It's really a signal of our commitment to the market. Of course, we've made a number of acquisitions here this year, and we are aggressively growing our business in this market. But of course, the U.S. has been the first mover when it comes to stablecoin policy, which is great to see, given the majority of Zebec's payroll business exists in the U.S., and we are now expecting to see much higher conversion rates into stablecoin payroll, given you have many banks that are signing on to the Genius Act. They're now able to process stablecoin transactions and work in close unison with payroll companies.
There's I have to say this as a Brit, in London, not far away from the headquarters of the British government. How far behind are they? I mean, do they really get it? Can we see it soon?
I mean, it's a great question. I think the UK takes a little bit more of a wait and see approach, and they're a little bit more cautious to financial institution.
We've done it through history, guys. That's what we do. We're always last to the party.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely reasons why that measured and slower approach can make sense.
All right. Well, I'm pleased about that. But we are there, though, are we? We're actually, we're in the space and we're catching up.
Exactly.
Well, I think what's interesting is I just read an article yesterday that appeared in The Economist, and under the title "Crypto's Big Bang Will Revolutionize Finance." This is probably the first positive article I've seen The Economist write about crypto. So that's a sign of the times. That's a sign of the times.
Well, that's a huge breakthrough. They're normally very cynical about anything.
Yes.
They're very. I mean, they really are cautious, but they probe and they challenge and they take a view, and it's not often the right view. But
it's all about, and the whole article is about stablecoins and tokenization. That's what it's about. And so they are seeing the future, and it's unfolding in front of us.
And do you think Big Bang is an exaggeration? I mean, do you really feel that's what we're heading towards?
I think also with the regulation that's changing in the US, with regulators being much more open and more innovation driven, I think we'll see major changes. Yes, we'll see major changes. Whether I'd call it a Big Bang, I don't know, but we'll definitely see major changes, and I think crypto will become far more mainstream as a result of this.
And to come back to something you said earlier, I mean, this is it's sort of the tipping point, isn't it? I mean, if you get paid this way, then there's really no excuse. I mean, you're in there, you're in the space, and it's really how most people are now going to embrace crypto.
Yeah, and I think the way crypto should work is that your money should always work for you. Like, let's say you get paid, directly in USDC. That money, the moment it's like in your wallet, it should work for you. It should generate yield, right? And that's possible, in a crypto environment. It's very hard to get that done in a traditional finance environment. And that's, I think, the world where we're going towards, is that your money that you have will always work for you every second of the day. And I think that's how it's supposed to be.
And that's exactly the ethos of our real-time finance movement as Zebec, right? I mean, we were founded to make payroll and other streams of value in the economy happen in real time. So as you're receiving your payroll, you're also actively reinvesting a portion of it. You're earning a yield in a portion of it. It all works kind of like clockwork.
And look, I have to ask this because I'm not, it is safe, isn't it? I mean, you are going to be asked that question time and time again, probably by governments and by companies or anyone using it. It is safe. It's secure, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is. I mean, if you think about Bitcoin, for instance, there's no bigger, honeypot available anywhere in the world for somebody to try and hack, Bitcoin system. Nobody's been able to do it. There's like $2 or $3 trillion sitting there for anybody who can successfully.
Don't lay down the challenge. Don't lay down the challenge now.
Right? It's like
the people listening who think, right, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah, well, exactly. But
don't go there.
They've been trying. I think they've been trying for many years. And the same is true. All of these blockchains, they're cryptographically secure, and so it is 100% secure. Now, of course, there is, by moving into a self-custody environment where you kind of control your own money, that comes with challenges as well, right? You can't call your bank anymore when you've lost your password, right? Because there's no bank to control your password. So you do have personal responsibility is to make sure that you keep the secrets and keep your passwords or your secret keys, your private keys. You have to keep them secure, and if you lose them, there's risks associated with that. And so there are challenges of like this whole kind of self-custody environment, and that will require consumer education. But the blockchain of itself is highly secure.
And I would add here that, I mean, stable coins now are seeing a huge leap up in transparency and backing. Given that we're going to see so much more transaction volume occurring on stable coins, it was important for the government to come in and say, well, these are the rules. They have to be backed by, dollar equivalents or short dated treasuries, to ensure that there's trust in the system.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the difference, isn't it? I mean, the fact is, it's now stable. It's backed, whether it's by the dollar, it might soon be backed by the British pound. I mean, these are huge developments, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, it's an incredibly exciting time for our industry and for anyone that's building right now in the blockchain.
Gosh, I'm in the wrong space. And what's the timeline here? Are you able to put a timeline on how soon I don't want to hold you to this, but how soon can we expect Big Bang?
I think it's happening as we speak, right? I think more and more. I think, to me, like, the regulatory clarity unlocks a bunch of things. Like the Genius Act was just approved in the US last week, so that is a massive unlock, right? I think you'll see a large number of players like moving into the stablecoin space, and that will drive tremendous usage. So I think you'll start seeing this happen over the next couple of months. I think it'll happen very, very quickly.
I agree. I think it's going to happen a lot sooner than people think. Just giving an example of Zebec, I mean, we've had multiple companies reaching out to us since the Genius Act, looking for stablecoin payroll. This even includes publicly listed companies in the US. So we had never seen that, during the years that we were kind of building without this regulatory clarity. So it's really refreshing to see.
Oh, it sounds. And final question. I mean, will there be a defining moment? I mean, is there a moment we should look out for, or are we through that and it's now about volume?
I think this defining moment is when Zebec launches on Algorand.
Great answer. That is the real Big Bang there.
Well, listen, guys, look, it's all very exciting stuff. We're really looking forward to seeing how this partnership develops. And I want to say thank you to both Simon and Mark for their answers today. Thanks to everyone that listened in. We'll be back soon, and take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you, Chris. Thank you, Mark.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Listen, 2 of my favorite projects coming together, guys. Absolutely. I could not be more bullish on it, my friends. I'm excited about it. Hopefully you're excited about it too. And like I said before, guys, get over to the 10% club. Do not be left behind. Don't be part of the 90% that holds their bags longer, guys. Also, get yourself your free Zebec airdrop using our Decent wallet link down below. And also get $20 off your Decent wallet. You're going to need a self-custody wallet anyway, no matter how you slice it, guys. That is the way you navigate this space. You might as well get some free Zebec and $20 off while you're at it. Offer ends August 5th. I will see you guys over in the 10% club. Link to the Patreon is down below in the description. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.